Mob of vandals spray paint graffiti throughout the 2nd Street tunnel just hours after the quarter-mile stretch was repainted by city workers. Good evening. This is the KTLA 5 News at 5:30. I'm Cher Calvin.
And I'm Micah Olm. A new video recorded by witnesses shows the vandals tagging that tunnel in a matter of minutes.
Police were seen driving through the area, but it's unclear if anyone was arrested. KTLA's Jacqueline Sarkeesian is live in downtown LA with the details. Jacqueline.
Hi there. Yes, good evening to both of you. We're still waiting to hear back from LAPD to find out if anyone was arrested. But a lot of the people we spoke to today, they were here in this tunnel walking through. So many of them could not believe just how quickly those vandals were able to tag the tunnel. You guys mentioned happened less than 24 hours after city crews were working to paint it white. And then here we are once again, the entire stretch of the lower portion of this tunnel covered in graffiti. Well, that didn't take long. Just hours after city crews painted the iconic 2nd Street tunnel white, vandals tagged it again. Footage posted on Instagram shows what is being called a full-force takeover. By midnight on July 23rd, the tunnel had transformed into what many are calling a living gallery, covered in signature tags from some of LA's most recognized street artists.
I think that's beautiful.
Sebastian Salazar works nearby and says he often walks through the tunnel. For him personally, he would much rather look at the graffiti instead of the bright white paint.
I prefer the color and the culture over the white plaster that would be up instead.
Salazar goes on to say that one reason he has no problem with it is because of where the tunnel is located.
It would be one thing if this is on, City Hall or something like that, a federal building or a place of work, but this is a tunnel. I don't think there's no one here really that is going to be looking at this regularly.
But not everyone agrees.
It's just dirty. I don't know. It doesn't look good. I don't even know what it means half the time. I don't know if it's gang affiliated or whatnot.
Melissa Herrera lives around the corner and saw the city painting the tunnel. Sadly, she knew it wouldn't be long before the graffiti was back.
I knew it was going to happen the next day. It'll come back. It always does.
Tagging has been a problem in LA for years now. We all remember the vacant building downtown that became a major eyesore after graffiti artists used it as a blank canvas. That's why Herrera isn't sure how the city fixes the issue.
I have no idea, to be honest. I mean, you would have to have people here monitoring it 24/7.
Now, this tunnel is part of District 14. We reached out to the councilwoman who represents that district. Yet to hear back. We also reached out to the mayor's office, hoping that Mayor Bass has something to say about this. So at this point, it's still unclear if the city will paint the tunnel white again or leave it as is. Reporting live downtown, Jacqueline Sarkeesian, KTLA 5 News.
Thank you, Jacqueline.
Now a story you will see only here on ABC 7. Squatters and taggers taking over a vacant mansion in the Hollywood Hills, covering it in graffiti. Caught on camera tonight, some trespassers leaving the property right there, and you just wait till you hear who owns the place. Eyewitness News reporter Michelle Fisher spoke with a fed-up neighbor. She joins us live with the latest. Michelle.
Well, Mark, Mulholland Drive is known for its breathtaking views, but for neighbors who live here near Multiview Drive, well, what they're stuck with looking at is graffiti, as you mentioned. I'm going to step out of the way so you can see a bit of what we're talking about. The graffiti that's here on this exterior fence, well, it's just popped up within the past 2 weeks, according to neighbors. But it's been an ongoing saga with this abandoned mansion they've been dealing with for more than 2 years, including a foul gas odor, fires in and near the property, and even a violent attack.
But we're kind of at wit's end because, honestly, we're not sure what to do.
An eyesore, headache, and safety hazard. It's how neighbors along Multiview Drive in Mulholland describe this abandoned mansion, now covered in graffiti from taggers and squatters who've been in and out for more than 2 years.
The past week, for example, we've all called 911 several times because every time we call, the police will come and they'll clear it out, and then within an hour or two, 5 more people are there, and they're staying the night.
One neighbor was more comfortable sharing their frustrations off camera, saying things at the property have gotten violent in the past.
Apparently some squatters came and actually attacked one of the neighbors. with steel rebar and beer bottle.
Our cameras capturing what appeared to be 3 taggers leaving the home this evening around 8, with private security stepping in to get them out. LAPD Hollywood Division telling Eyewitness News they've been called to the home 6 times this month alone for trespassing and vandalism. Police removing 10 people on Wednesday and arresting 1 person on a warrant.
The police told us they are tied because it's still owned by the homeowner. So it's like stuck in limbo land.
According to public records, that owner is John Powers Middleton, the same person who owns this home at 1754 Sunset Plaza Drive. That property also taken over by squatters, the rundown condition seen here in a report we did a year ago. Neighbors say Middleton's father owns the Philadelphia Phillies.
Just seems to be ignoring what his responsibility is, and he has enough money to take care of it.
Neighbors also say they've reached out to Nithya Raman's office but haven't had much luck with a resolution.
I would just think that there would be a solution for us as homeowners.
And we also reached out to Councilwoman Nithya Raman's office for insight on this issue. We also have not heard back tonight. We also put in several calls and text messages to numbers associated with the owner of this mansion. Also, no answer. As for the homeowners, they say they will continue to fight for a fix, telling us they've even tossed around the idea of maybe coming together to all buy the property together and fix this issue.
Well, Eric, graffiti costs Seattle a fortune. Oftentimes businesses will pay to have this stuff covered over, only to have it tagged again just a few days later. Now a man who prosecutors say is a prolific graffiti tagger here in Seattle, well, he'll have to spend 2 weeks cleaning this stuff up. In Seattle's fight against graffiti.
When the whole wall's painted one color, you just have to get the graffiti. And
Lloyd Hogan is on the front line.
This door I've probably painted about 40, 50 times.
He spends his days in Belltown covering up tags like this.
Some of this is, I recognize, it's the usual people.
And he often finds himself painting over the word eager, a name that can be found on buildings and bridges almost anywhere in Seattle. To people who say, well, graffiti's just artistic expression, what do you say?
There's nothing artistic about it. It looks like trash.
Prosecutors say the man behind the eager tag is Casey Kane.
Have you seen eager all over the city?
Yeah.
That's him.
He's eager?
He's eager. It's tattooed on his stomach. That's how do you take a picture of it. You're eager?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go and just perform a search of your person, okay?
All right.
He was arrested in 2022 after police caught him tagging a building in Capitol Hill. Prosecutors said the damage he's done around Seattle has cost at least $200,000.
It has a bunch of paint. You guys are covered in paint, so I'm just connecting the dots.
Kane was charged with malicious mischief, a felony, and could have faced time in prison. But now, in an agreement with prosecutors, Kane has been ordered to spend 80 hours cleaning up graffiti in Seattle. His defense attorney said in this court filing that Kane has had, quote, significant positive life changes and is now painting food trucks. The attorney also cited the fact that Kane was seriously burned in an encampment explosion near Harborview Medical Center over the summer.
You need help getting up? Yeah. Gotcha.
After Kane's felony arrest, he was cited twice by the Seattle City Attorney's Office for misdemeanor charges involving graffiti. But both cases were thrown out when a federal judge upended Seattle's graffiti statute. The city is now fighting in court to get that judge's decision reversed.
It is not a victimless crime, and the people of Seattle are fed up with it, and enough is enough.
But Kane's attorney says he has, quote, worked hard to find artistic jobs that will allow him to channel creative energy in a legal and productive manner.
Eager does some of it. I've seen his tags.
But we've received photos like this showing what appear to be fresh Eager tags around the city after the agreement was signed with prosecutors. It's just a signal that this building's a free-for-all.
Yeah, and
Lloyd is skeptical that Eager's tagging days are done.
we need to enforce the laws we have on the books.
So the sentence from the court, clean this stuff up. What it does not include is any sort of restitution or payments to the buildings who have been vandalized here with that tag in Seattle. I talked to the prosecutor's office today. They say they're going to be watching this case closely. And if he is caught painting graffiti out in public again, he could violate his probation and face consequences from court. Reporting live in Seattle, Jeremy Harris, Como News.
You're looking at this video for the first time and only on NBC4. People in action here spraying the graffiti towers in downtown LA. It is a crime, a violation of city law, but some call it art.
And it's not only the towers, because if you pay attention, graffiti is very much a part of Los Angeles. Without taking any position now or condoning any illegal activity, we did want to find out more about the people who do it.
The NBC4i team spoke exclusively to members of LA's graffiti scene who climbed those towers to put their mark on them. Now they're telling our investigative reporter Lolita Lopez why.
This is video taken a couple of months back, about 25 stories high in a tower in downtown Los Angeles.
What was that like? That was like a movie. Yeah, it was like a movie. It was pretty crazy.
This man spoke to us on the condition we do not identify him. He and others who say they climbed one of the vacant towers at Oceanwide Plaza shared their videos with the NBC4i team.
Why did you want to do that? Why did you want to be there? I just felt like it was part of LA, like it was like something like a memory, and then if you weren't there, it's like you're gonna regret it later.
But some have argued the regrettable part is the graffiti itself.
It's extremely unfortunate that this once very promising project has been so badly neglected that it's really become a national spectacle.
The city turned its attention to the abandoned condo and shopping mall project recently, years after the developers ran out of money in 2019. And some say only after the buildings became known as LA's graffiti towers. The city has now spent hundreds of thousands in taxpayer dollars to secure the area around the towers. Dozens of people have been arrested trying to climb over the fence around the plaza. City Councilman Kevin De Leon says the city will bill the developers for security and other costs.
The worst part of it all is that the city of Los Angeles has now taken responsibility for it, and they're funding so much money to protect the buildings and paint them and all that, where that money could be used anywhere else.
Antonio Duran runs LA Unplugged.
How long, have you been involved in the world?
I started doing graffiti when I was 10 years old.
He says he is no longer doing graffiti and long ago turned his efforts elsewhere.
I became more self-aware that I could do more with the situations.
How much does a can go for?
$5.
$5?
Part graffiti art supply store, part gallery space. LA Unplugged is located in the Florence Firestone neighborhood. Duran says he showcases different people's work and hosts monthly events.
What do you want folks that may not get graffiti or are quote against graffiti to know?
I mean, at the end of the day, it was still an illegal act, what happened at those towers, so I can't really condone nothing illegal, you know, I try to promote more positive stuff, but I mean, it's definitely a way that the LA subculture has voiced themselves.
The red and green one was one of my first friends that passed away.
A few folks who say they are still part of the LA graffiti scene and participated in the tower took us to other parts of town where they've done graffiti.
So how long has this one been up?
Probably
there's a picture of him.
6 years. This man tells us there's a deeper meaning and a story in his graffiti.
What would you call this? Do you call it artwork, work?
Just call it artwork and then memories.
Someone would say, you're defacing somebody's property. It's not yours.
Well, it's art, anybody can take it how they want to take it, but as long as we know we're doing something good and it's not like we're throwing some gang letters or, get it, they look at graffiti bad, but us, we look at it as art, expressing, what you have in your mind, your feelings.
He explains they often work in crews.
These represent crews. They're not gangs or anything like that.
It's just crews.
Nobody's names. Got it.
He says the crews can be competitive with each other at times.
Would you call graffiti dangerous?
At times, yeah, but I would think so. It's the way you take it. To me, I try to stick to art, but if it comes, whatever it comes with, you can't back down. I won't, but you can't back down. Then, they'll know that, hey, we could pick on them.
As seen in this 2009 ordinance, the city of Los Angeles calls graffiti a blighting element, obnoxious, a public nuisance that leads or often leads to the depreciation of property values, violence, and genuine threats of life. The ordinance says it is unlawful for any person to write, paint, spray, chalk, etch, or otherwise apply graffiti on public or privately owned buildings, signs, walls, permanent or temporary structures, places, or other surfaces located on public or privately owned property within the city. The people we talked to admit to crossing onto private property to graph. I asked them, what if the city set aside specific locations where they could showcase their work, where it's allowed?
There's places you could do that, but it'll ruin take away the whole fun and the adrenaline.
For Duran, he says he created his space to show what graffiti means to him and so many others.
And I mean, we don't really promote vandalism or anything like that. We promote more self-expression and artistic ventures and stuff, you know. Try to provide people with a separate medium for them to use.
There's other people that mess it up for the people that are really going out there doing art, but majority of us is just trying to do something good and, you know, put something nice out there.
Something nice or something unsightly seems to be left to interpretation, even if the law is clear. For the I-Team, Lolita Lopez, NBC4 News.